On December 4th, 1961, a baby boy named Rocky Dennis was born in Glendora, California. With bright eyes and an innocent smile, he seemed like any other healthy newborn, but by the age of 2, his family's life would change forever. During a routine tonsillectomy, an X-ray technician noticed something unusual. Abnormal calcium deposits were distorting Rocky's skull, pushing his eyes toward the edges of his face and twisting his nose. Doctors diagnosed him with craniofacial dysplasia, an extremely rare and debilitating bone disorder. They delivered a devastating prognosis. Rocky would likely go blind, lose his hearing, and not survive past his 7th birthday. Yet, against all odds, Rocky Dennis lived to be 16 years old, becoming one of only 10 known cases of his condition to survive past childhood. His story of courage, love, and resilience would later inspire millions through the 1985 film Mask. This is the incredible true story of Rocky Dennis, a boy who refused to be defined by his appearance and whose spirit continues to touch hearts today. Rocky's mother, Rusty Dennis, was a fiercely independent woman who refused to let doctors dictate her son's fate. When physicians warned that Rocky would never read, walk properly, or attend school, Rusty dismissed their pessimism. "I didn't allow the doctors to talk him into death," she later told United Press International. "You know what you believe works, and he believed he could stick around as long as he wanted to." Rusty was determined to give Rocky a normal childhood. She enrolled him in public school, despite educators' concerns that his appearance would disturb other children. They tried to say his intelligence was impaired, but it wasn't true, Rusty told People magazine. "I think they wanted to keep him out because they thought it would bother the other kids' parents." Rocky proved them wrong. He excelled academically, loved reading, and even developed a sharp sense of humor about his condition. Rocky's early years weren't easy. His skull continued to grow abnormally, causing severe headaches. Instead of relying on painkillers, Rusty taught him biofeedback techniques to manage the pain, a testament to her belief in his strength. Despite his challenges, Rocky was a typical kid at heart. He babysat, played pranks, and even swiped newspapers from neighbors' lawns to resell them for extra cash. The children he babysat adored him, never fazed by his appearance. But not everyone was so accepting. The harsh reality of judgment. One day, while visiting Las Vegas, Rocky saw a woman with dwarfism walking through a hotel lobby. He giggled, prompting Rusty to seize a teaching moment. "Do you understand why people sometimes treat you the way they do?" she asked him. Rocky, then in 1st grade, shook his head. "Everyone can look like anyone else," Rusty told him. "But no one can look like you. Take pride in that." The lesson stuck with him. As he grew older, Rocky developed a remarkable ability to disarm people's discomfort. If a classmate seemed uneasy around him, he'd say, "If I make you uncomfortable, you can move. But I can't change my face." His confidence and humor won over his peers. By junior high, he was a popular student with a close-knit group of friends. Despite his resilience, Rocky's health continued to decline. The calcium deposits in his skull put immense pressure on his brain, and doctors had no cure. In 1978, at just 16 years old, Rocky began showing signs of self-pity, something Rusty found unusual. One night, he tearfully apologized. "I'm sorry for the way I was born. I'm sorry for being such a problem." Rusty reassured him, but deep down, she feared the worst. On October 4th, 1978, after a quiet dinner together, Rocky went to bed early, complaining of a headache. The next morning, Rusty found him lifeless in his room. "I hugged him and said goodbye, but he wasn't there," she later recalled. Rocky had beaten medical expectations by nearly a decade, but his time had finally come. After Rocky's death, Rusty donated his body to UCLA Medical Center for genetic research. She hoped his case could help others with similar conditions. But Rocky's story didn't end there. The Making of Mask, 1985. In 1978, a hospital social worker named Anna Hamilton Phelan met Rocky briefly. Struck by his spirit, she spent years researching his life, interviewing his family, and writing a screenplay. The result was Mask, a 1985 biographical film starring Eric Stoltz as Rocky and Cher as Rusty. The movie was a critical success, winning an Academy Award for Best Makeup and earning Cher the Best Actress Award at Cannes. For Rusty, the film was bittersweet. She received $15,000 for the rights to her story, but cared more about honoring Rocky's memory. Cher's advocacy for craniofacial disorders. Deeply moved by Rocky's story, Cher became a lifelong advocate for people with facial deformities. In 1989, she was named honorary chairman of the International Craniofacial Foundation. If Rocky lived today, doctors might have been able to help him, she told Parade magazine in 1994. All a craniofacial patient wants is not to be abnormal. They just want to walk down the street without being stared at. Rocky Dennis's story is one of courage, love, and defiance. He refused to let his condition dictate his happiness, proving that true strength comes from within. His mother, Rusty, fought tirelessly to give him a normal life, teaching him and the world that appearances mean nothing compared to character. Though Rocky's life was tragically short, his legacy lives on. He remains a symbol of resilience, reminding us all, it's not how you look, but how you live, that truly matters. May Rocky Dennis rest in peace, his spirit forever unbroken. If this tribute moved you, consider sharing it or supporting organizations like the Children's Craniofacial Association. Let's ensure no child faces judgment for how they look.